Okay, so today actually I want to talk about this chapter 3, Chapter 3. So hopefully you already draft your chapter 1 and chapter 2, then get it ready to show to me next week lah, so that I can comment on the content and then you can amend, okay, revise it accordingly to the suggestion and recommendation. So this one is on chapter 3. So chapter 3 is regarding the methods, okay? Method keywords will be methods here. So methodology, methodology. Okay, so here will be the content that you can write in this chapter 3. So first of all, 3.1 will be the introduction. Okay, then of course we will close this chapter with a summary regarding the content in this the whole chapter 3 itself. Okay, so we are going to have a look on each and every item itself. Okay, so for flow chart, you need to come up with flow chart. Okay, so you will have two flow chart basically. One is for the group as a whole, overall itself. So as you can see, the flow chart should start with start here. Okay, so it will be in a circle form, oval, ellipse lah basically. Then if you have a process, it will be in the form of a rectangle. Okay, it will be in the form of rectangle. So forming group, then you search for the collaborators. Okay, then we identify problems. Then you are going to propose a title. Okay, if you have a diamond shape, okay, submit final year project title. This is the company proposal submission form. Diamond indicates decision. Okay, indicate decision. That means if yes, then you can proceed. If your title's been approved, then you can proceed with the proposal writing, chapter 1 to 3 in project 1, basically. Yeah. So this will be the flow chart. Okay, so you can actually amend from this overall flow chart and come up with your own. Then you need to come up with the second flow chart, which is the individual's flow chart. So each and every one of you have been assigned to different writing scope. Okay, so again, you will start and end with the ellipse form. Okay, start and end. Then you have process itself. So if you have a diamond, it indicates the decision making here. So the one on my left here will be for pre-test. This one is for the design process on my right hand side. Okay, so this is the one proposed on here. So on the content, you can actually edit it, okay, amend it accordingly to your content actually. Okay, so you can have a look on this. Okay, flowchart project 2 also. So for project 2 also, you need to actually plan ahead how you are going to fabricate your machine, your table itself. Okay, so you should come up with a flow chart also for project 2. So similarly, like in project 1, so you should have two flow chart. One is for the overall of it, then another one will be for the individual's writing scope. Okay, flow chart. The 3.3, after flow chart, you need to produce this Gantt chart. So Gantt chart is basically the each and every week, okay, you will have your planning process, and then if your actual process actually align to whatever that you already planned. So on the activity wise over there, you can put in a more detailed form actually. In project 1, this one will be the proposed Gantt chart day. So the week you will have until week 13, right, before your presentation, proposal presentation later. So this one, you have two row here, okay, one is for plan, then another one for actual process. So your maybe you, for example, briefing project one, week 1 and 2, planning, but we only execute it in week number 2. So yellow color, actual process. Yeah. So like item number 3, identify problems here. You plan for 3 weeks, week 3 to week number 5, but it actually took a longer time. Okay, actual process is you brainstorm maybe using the design thinking process. Okay, then it lasts until week number 6. Okay, it can be in such form. Next one will be also you need to come up with a project 2 Gantt chart. Now, of course, since you are only in project 1, so you only have the planning process. So in project 2 later, you should acquire part, okay, purchasing all the parts, and then you do start your fabrication works maybe before all the parts, then you are going to assemble it before you test the product, and then you do some touch up, okay, finalize the product. And of course you have your presentations for project 2 also later. Okay, so for those who write about the design or the control system itself, you need to write on this fabrication technique. Okay, fabrication technique itself. So if you are writing about the main body, the design of main body, then you should have 3.4.1 will be the steps in a very detailed form, very comprehensive. How are you going to fabricate your machine, okay, in project 2? So this is some sort of planning stage. If you are writing about the control system, so you need to actually plan, okay, plan and then try to simulate out how you are going to assemble or attach your control system to the machine itself, to the main body itself. So 3.4.1. Okay, so this one will be 3.4.1. So in project 2 later, you are going to update this report. Okay, the proposal will become the report itself with all the photos, you see, all the photos. And then you are going to change the active sentences now in project 1 to the passive sentences. Okay, you are going to change from active sentences, that's mean instruction now, instruction 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on, into the passive sentences. Then, of course, we always refer to figures. It's better for you to have a lot of figures, fabrications. When you try to assemble it, okay, step by step, you provide figures to actually enhance your explanation. Okay. So for those who write about the pre or post testing here, okay, you can actually come up with what we call the market analysis. Okay, you can provide a very simple questionnaire with a scale, Likert scale 1 to 5. Okay, just to ask your customer, the current customer, what are the problems that they have, then to actually pinpoint, okay, the problem that they face and so on. Okay, a very simple questionnaire. Then for those who write about the post-testing, you can come up with almost similar questions in your questionnaire to ask about the effectiveness, okay, the satisfactions of the user towards your machine later in project 2. Okay, in project 2 later. Okay, so this will be the example of questionnaire that you can use, okay? So on the items itself, you can amend accordingly. So that will be the feedback to gain feedback actually from the user. So pre and post test, it's applicable for pre-testing and post-testing. Those who write about the writing stuff. Next one, 3.6 will be the materials and costs. Okay, you need to list out the material that you are going to use with the specification. Okay, of course you need to have the size itself. Okay, as detailed as possible, hopefully with all the technical specifications that you provide here, you can go to the hardware shop and purchase directly the items. So you should come up with the material and the costing itself. Okay, so over here, you should come up with two tables basically. So table 3.1 will be on individuals writing scope. Okay, so for those who write about pre and post test, you should have your cost of pre-test. You should estimate how much it will cost. Cost of post test also. Okay, whatever raw material that you are using, maybe if you are doing the questionnaire itself, you want to buy a ream of paper, okay, some pens itself, okay, that will be the cost that you can include inside pre and post testing. Okay, and of course the main one will be here, main body. Okay, you are going to purchase a lot of steel, L bracket, bolts and nut, so you can include it inside cost of main body or frame. And 3.1 will be for control system, cost of control system. So if you purchase any pulley system, any gear, okay, any motors, any pump, then you can put it inside the cost of control system. So overall from here, you're going to come up with table 3.2 eventually, which will be the total cost. So you're going to collect from your group members pre-testing how much he or she estimate. Then the main body, how much is up, and control system, and last and for all, the post-testing itself. So total will be that particular amount. So you should come up with two costs, okay, table that consists of costs. Next one, so for those who write about pre and post testing, so you don't have fabrication step, you see. Okay, if you realize that in the previous content, you will write regarding experimental setup rather than fabrication's work or fabrication step itself. So all the steps in a very detailed form also, in a very comprehensive form, okay, in active sentences, please list down how you are going to actually evaluate the effectiveness of your machine. And of course, for the post-test, pre-testing one, if you want to try the current method, the conventional method, to actually come up with some conventional data itself, okay, then you can write it at here. Okay, finally, on 3.8, as you know, you should actually draw your final design itself in Inventor. Okay, all the parts, you should create all the parts, and before you bring into the assembly environment to assemble, then you should come up with the presentation file. Okay, presentation file will show that how you are able to, the parts were able to assemble into components of machine itself. Okay, all the members should share the same drawing. Okay, so you can have a lot of separate parts or components, then you can insert those parts with major dimension to become your appendix. Okay, appendix here. So this will be the sample of drawing here. Okay, the sample of drawings. So it's in inventor form. You should come up with a BOM also, bill of material. Okay, in inventor, in IDW environment, you have the BOM features there. Okay, with all the balloons there to indicate the items, parts and so on. And last and for all, you should conclude this chapter with a summary that mention whatever content that you write in this chapter, and then you bring your reader to the next chapter, which will be your data and discussion. Okay, your result and discussion itself. Okay, so whatever in the appendix, this will be the example of it. Okay, you can put in top view, front view, a side view, or maybe you want to have an isometric view. Okay, so you have that options. So all the parts, you see, parts. So I think that's all for chapter 3. Okay, hopefully you are able to come up with a drafting of chapter 3. Then we can discuss about it.